You know you need more protein to stay strong, but who has the energy to cook a steak at 6 in the evening? The reality is that as we get older, standing by a hot stove can feel like a marathon. In this video, I am going to show you how to hit your protein goals to stay strong without ever turning on your stove or dirtying a single pot. We are making 5 delicious, high-protein dinners fast. We aren't just making sandwiches. I'm going to show you how to use supermarket smart cuts to build a Mediterranean bowl, a savory cottage cheese plate that actually tastes good, and a salmon hack that saves 20 minutes. These meals are designed specifically for when your energy is low but your nutritional needs are high. Let's be honest about why this matters. There is a silent thief that comes for our muscles as we age. It is a natural process where we slowly lose muscle mass, which can affect our balance and our independence. The best defense is dietary protein, but the catch is that you need a specific amount at each meal to trigger that muscle maintenance. A piece of toast and tea just won't cut it anymore. We need to aim for roughly 25 to 30 grams of protein per meal. That sounds like a lot, especially if you are tired. That is why we are focusing on assembly, not cooking. If you are ready to reclaim your evenings and your health, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more simple, age-positive food joy. Let's start with a powerhouse ingredient that often gets a bad reputation: cottage cheese. I know, some people think of diet plates from the 1980s, but we are going to completely transform it. We are making a savvy, savory bowl. The trick here is to treat cottage cheese like burrata or mozzarella rather than a breakfast food. You start with 1 cup of low-fat cottage cheese. That right there is already 25 grams of protein. You are nearly at your goal before adding a single topping. To make this a proper dinner, we need texture and flavor. Slice up some English cucumbers, the kind you don't have to peel, and have a handful of cherry tomatoes. Toss those right on top. Now here is the secret weapon: everything bagel seasoning. It adds garlic, onion, and sesame seeds without you having to chop anything. Drizzle a little high-quality olive oil over the top for healthy fats, which helps your body absorb the vitamins from the vegetables. If you want a little kick, a dash of chili crisp or hot sauce works wonders. This meal takes 3 minutes to assemble. It is cool, creamy, crunchy, and incredibly satisfying. If the texture of cottage cheese bothers you, you can actually whip it in a small blender for 10 seconds to make it smooth like a dip, but that does require cleaning the blender, so we usually just stir it briskly with a fork. Now perhaps you are looking for something that feels a bit more substantial, something that feels like a cooked meal without the heat. This brings us to the rotisserie chicken reset. The rotisserie chicken is the best value in the grocery store. It is cheaper than buying a raw bird and cooking it yourself, and the work is already done. But eating plain chicken can get boring. We are going to turn this into a bistro-style chicken pesto salad. For this dinner, you will strip the white meat from the chicken. A standard breast from a rotisserie chicken will give you over 30 grams of protein easily. Place that over a bed of pre-washed baby spinach or arugula. These greens are tender and don't require chopping. Now, instead of a heavy dressing, we are going to use jarred pesto. Basil pesto is packed with flavor. Take a tablespoon of pesto and mix it with a little lemon juice to thin it out. Then toss it with the chicken. The warmth of the chicken, if you bought it fresh, releases the aroma of the basil and garlic. Add a side of canned chickpeas, rinsed well, to boost the fiber and add even more protein. This meal feels elegant. It looks like something you would pay $20 for at a lunch cafe, but you made it in your kitchen with a fork and a bowl. Speaking of canned goods, we need to talk about the pantry hero that saves us on rainy days: canned salmon. Not everyone loves handling raw fish, and cooking it perfectly can be stressful. Canned salmon, especially the kind with the bones mashed in, is incredibly rich in calcium as well as protein. We are making a salmon super salad, but we are ditching the mayonnaise. Mayonnaise is fine in moderation, but it doesn't give us much nutrition. Instead, we are going to swap the mayo for plain Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt is thick, tangy, and packed with protein. When you mix it with a little Dijon mustard and dried dill, you can't even tell it's yogurt. It just tastes like a rich, creamy dressing. Drain your can of salmon and flake it into a bowl. Mix in your yogurt and mustard sauce. For crunch, you can add chopped celery if you have the energy, or just crumble in some whole grain crackers. Serve this inside a halved avocado or on top of a large slice of whole grain sourdough toast. The combination of the fatty acids from the salmon and the probiotics from the yogurt makes this excellent for digestion and inflammation. Plus, you have just consumed nearly 35 grams of protein without turning on the oven. I know what you might be thinking. What about the nights when you just want to pick at food? When a big bowl of salad looks exhausting? That is when we turn to the adult bento box. This is essentially a cheese and meat board, but balanced for nutrition rather than just snacking. The key to making this a dinner and not a snack is the rule of thirds: 1 protein, 1 fiber, 1 fresh. Start with 2 hard-boiled eggs. You can boil these in a batch at the start of the week, or honestly, many grocery stores sell them pre-peeled in bags now. That is 12 grams of protein. Add a few slices of sharp cheddar cheese or a handful of almonds. Now you are up to 20 grams. For the fiber and fresh element, add an apple sliced up or a handful of grapes and some whole grain crackers. This style of eating is fantastic because it takes the pressure off. You can eat it slowly while reading a book or watching TV. It allows you to listen to your hunger cues. If you get full, you can just put the lid back on the container and put it in the fridge. There is no soggy lettuce to worry about. It is the ultimate low-stress dinner that still respects your body's need for fuel. For our final no-cook masterpiece, we are going to look at the humblest ingredient in the cupboard, the white bean. White beans, like cannellini or Great Northern beans, are soft, mild, and very high in fiber. We are making a Tuscan-style white bean and tuna salad. This is a classic Italian dish that has stood the test of time because it is simply delicious. You will need 1 can of white beans, rinsed and drained, and 1 can of high-quality tuna packed in olive oil. The oil in the tuna can is actually full of flavor, so don't drain it all away. Flake the tuna into the beans. Now, squeeze half a lemon over the whole thing. The acid cuts through the richness and wakes up the palate. If you have dried Italian herbs or red pepper flakes, sprinkle those on top. This meal is room temperature, which is often easier on the digestion than piping hot or ice-cold food. The combination of legumes and fish provides a complete amino acid profile, keeping your muscles happy. It is hearty enough to keep you full until breakfast, but light enough that it won't disrupt your sleep. Now that we have covered the recipes, I want to address a few common hurdles. I often hear from people who say they simply cannot eat that much food in one sitting. As we age, our appetites can shrink. If you find 30 grams of protein hard to finish in one meal, that is okay. The strategy here is to snack smarter. Save half of that tuna salad for an hour later. The goal is the total intake for the day. Listen to your body, but try to prioritize the protein portion of the meal first. If you leave the crackers or the bread, that is fine, but try to finish the salmon or the chicken. Another concern is sodium. Canned foods can be high in salt. If you are watching your blood pressure, the simple act of rinsing your beans and vegetables under cold water for 30 seconds can reduce the sodium content by up to 40%. You can also look for no salt added versions of almost everything we mentioned today. It is a small adjustment that keeps these convenient meals heart healthy. Let's also talk about cost. Some people assume that eating healthy protein is expensive. While a fresh salmon fillet is pricey, canned salmon, eggs, beans, and cottage cheese are some of the most affordable proteins on the market. These meals are actually far cheaper than ordering takeout or buying frozen TV dinners, and the nutritional return on your investment is much higher. You are paying for your future mobility with every bite. Texture can also be an issue. If you have dental challenges, the crunch of raw vegetables might be difficult. You can easily adapt these meals. Swap the raw cucumbers for soft roasted red peppers from a jar. Use avocado instead of nuts. The white bean salad is particularly good for this because the beans are naturally soft. You don't have to struggle through your meal. Food should be a pleasure, not a chore. One thing we often forget is the emotional component of cooking for one. It can feel lonely to assemble a bowl just for yourself. But I want you to reframe that. When you take 5 minutes to arrange your bento box or sprinkle fresh herbs on your store-bought soup, you are sending a message to yourself. You are saying that you are worthy of care. You are worthy of a nice presentation. Even if you are eating alone, set a placemat. Pour a glass of sparkling water. Turn off the news and put on some music. Make dinner an event that honors your body. We have talked about protein, but let's not forget hydration. These meals are somewhat lower in water content than a big bowl of soup, so make sure you are drinking water alongside your dinner. Digestion requires fluid, especially when you increase your fiber intake with beans and greens. A glass of water with a slice of lemon is the perfect accompaniment to any of these dishes. If you are looking at these ideas and thinking, I don't have those specific ingredients, don't worry. The formula is what matters. The formula is a high-quality protein source that is ready to eat, a vegetable that requires no cooking, and a healthy fat or flavor booster. If you don't like tuna, use canned chicken. If you don't like spinach, use mixed greens. If you don't like chickpeas, use kidney beans. The specific ingredients can change based on what is on sale or what is in your cupboard. The goal is to remove the barrier of cooking so that you actually eat. It is also worth mentioning that these meals are excellent for lunch as well. In fact, many seniors find that eating their largest meal at midday is better for digestion and sleep. Since these require no heating, they are perfect for a heavy lunch and then you can have a lighter version for supper. The flexibility is entirely up to you. I want to circle back to the rotisserie chicken for a moment because there is a safety tip there. When you buy a hot chicken, you need to break it down quickly. Don't just put the whole hot bird in the fridge, as it takes too long to cool down. Strip the meat off while it is warm, put it in shallow containers, and refrigerate it. It will last for 3 to 4 days. Having that prepped protein ready to go is the difference between a healthy dinner and just eating toast. Let's recap the 5 concepts so you can make your shopping list. We have the savory cottage cheese bowl for a creamy, calcium-rich option. We have the chicken pesto salad for a bistro experience at home. We have the salmon yogurt salad for brain and heart health. We have the adult bento box for grazing and portion control. And we have the white bean and tuna salad for a shelf-stable pantry rescue. Incorporating just one of these meals into your weekly rotation can save you an hour of standing and cleaning. Imagine what you could do with that extra energy. Maybe you call a friend, maybe you take a short walk, or maybe you just rest. Conserving your energy for the things you love, rather than burning it all on chores, is the key to savvy aging. You don't need to be a master chef to nourish your body. You just need to be smart about your resources. These meals prove that fast food can be healthy food if you know what to buy. If you found these ideas helpful, please click the like button. It helps other women find this information. And tell me in the comments, which of these 5 no-cook dinners would you be most likely to try tonight? I love reading your ideas and seeing how you adapt these recipes to your own tastes. Remember, taking care of your health is the best investment you can make. Eat well, stay strong, and be kind to yourself. I'll see you in the next video.